Is Notre Dame really staying independent in football? NBC offering $60 million a year. Is that enough? Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with Greg Pflugar. This is episode 10. We got a report this morning from the Sports Business Journal, SBJ, discussing, it looks like possibly Notre Dame is leaning towards staying independent in football, getting a deal with NBC for $60 million a year. Now, as you know, I have believed that Notre Dame at some point has to jump into a conference because of how the world has changed. Conferences are becoming more powerful. Different revenue streams are being created by the conferences. Notre Dame is very tight with their independent status. It's their symbol. They're very proud of it. They've been doing it for over 100 years. I understand all of that. But with this new world change, it's going to be tough for Notre Dame's Olympic sports to compete at a high level against SEC, against the Big Ten, because Notre Dame's Olympic teams are going to have to go by the rules and the standards and the limitations of the ACC conference. The baseball team, the basketball team, all of Notre Dame's sports except for football and men's hockey are with the ACC, and the ACC is not going to be making near as much money as the Big Ten and SEC going forward, and the gap only grows. However, it looks like Notre Dame is leaning towards staying independent in football, and probably with that keeping their Olympic teams in the ACC. Let's look at Outkick. Did a report 3 hours ago. Notre Dame is reporting nearing a decision on the future of the Fighting Irish. Ever since UCLA and USC made the jump to the Big Ten, there has been serious speculation about whether or not Notre Dame would ultimately join the Big Ten. The massive windfall on the horizon for the Big Ten once a new media deal is inked makes the conference only more intriguing to the Irish. However, Notre Dame will likely remain independent and reach a new media deal with NBC that pays around $60 million, according to SBJ Sports Journal. Despite not joining the Big Ten, fans of the Fighting Irish can expect more games against Big Ten teams now that everyone involved will be tied with the NBC. Really? So, wait a second. So Notre Dame is going to stay independent in football, get shoulder programming with the Big Ten that I think is actually advantageous to the Big Ten. And they're going to get more games with Big Ten schools showing on NBC. I highly doubt that. This right here, boy, that's highly speculative. I'm going to say Warren's not going to agree with that, but we shall see. So Notre Dame keeps their independence, but fans can expect a significant crossover in scheduling. So what are they going to do? 5 games with the ACC and 3 games with the Big Ten every year? I'm sorry, I don't see that happening. Again, this is not a finalized report. This is just, SBJ is they have their sources and they're excellent. They're the best. They're saying that Notre Dame is leaning towards independence in football. Now, is that a strategy? Is that part of negotiations with Warren and the Big Ten to put out there that Notre Dame is leaning towards independence in football? Or is that their true state? Are they about to sign a new deal with NBC? Now, keep in mind, Notre Dame's deal with NBC goes until 2025, their current deal. Is this a way and it pays about $15-20 million a year. Is this a way to bump up to have this new deal start maybe in 2023, which would be advantageous to Notre Dame, but not so much for NBC? I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't even know the full details of the Big Ten deal. We do not know of course, this deal with the NBC with the Irish, we don't know if that's real yet. So we can only speculate at this point in time. I really do think, though, at the end of the day, that let's say Notre Dame signs this deal with NBC. $60 million a year. Throwing about, Notre Dame makes about $5 million, $4 million off the ACC network, not $10 or $11 million like people have been forwarding me. There's some other money in there. Notre Dame will probably make about $80 million a year if you do it apples and apples in comparison to what a Big Ten school will make, what an SEC school will make. If you put in all the NCAA credits, bowl money, I understand the Notre Dame will get a bigger slice. They don't have to share the bowl money. They won't have to share the conference football playoff money with members of the conference. But I would say throwing all apples and apples together, comparing them, Notre Dame will be about a $20 million, $25 million gap to the Big Ten schools. Again, we don't know that because we don't have the final numbers for the Big Ten. Having said that, is Notre Dame $20, $25 million close enough to the Big Ten for Notre Dame to compete at the highest level of college sports? Considering there's going to be revenue sharing with student athletes coming from the Big Ten to its student athletes, and that's going to happen with the SEC as well. Can Notre Dame keep up? Is this a good deal for them? And I go back to this deal for Notre Dame NBC. This isn't really shoulder programming for Notre Dame. It is for NBC, but not Notre Dame. Notre Dame's game, again, we're playing at 1:30, 2:30 Eastern Time, afternoon at NBC versus an ACC school. They're going to be promoting the triple header, the primetime game on NBC with the two Big Ten schools. A Big Ten game in a Big Ten stadium. They're going to be doing the promoting for the Big Ten. Something to me still seems a little off. Maybe Notre Dame has made a solid decision. Maybe internally they cannot do it. I can tell you that there are people in the Big Ten, especially the big money behind the Big Ten, had the perception that Notre Dame was going to join the Big Ten for the 2024 football season. And they would have to make that move before August 15th, 2023. Were they wrong? Maybe they were. We shall see. Notre Dame, is this a leverage ploy? Is this a leverage ploy? Are they leaking this to try to extract more from Big Ten? Again, we shall see. But SBJ, Sports Business Journal, they're really good at this. So if they say they're about to ink a new deal with NBC, they probably are. Again, we're going to keep on this story. Please put your comments down in the comments below this video about, do you think this deal is real? Do you think it's going to get inked? And is this a good deal for Notre Dame versus what they could do if they finally joined a conference, be it SEC or the Big Ten? If you like this comment, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to this channel. I appreciate you very, very much. And share the video. Is Notre Dame truly staying independent in football? Is there over 100 years of independent football going to extend to the next decade? All right, well, we shall see. Until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, y'all take care of each other. Thanks.